Hi everyone, it's Jerry. I'm on chess.com and I got paired up playing now a 3-0 game. I had to seek out for 5-0, but 3-0 is where we stand. Let's try Queen B3, playing against Want to Lose. Alright. Let's go with a push or get on with development. Let's get on with development. I do not know this line. Bishop G4. My queen is going to be hit soon. Okay, that's an interesting maneuver. It's probably all theory. Here? Maybe? I'm a bit fearful of knight to b6. I think that's where the knight is heading. e5, I'm planning to meet with d5. Castles, yeah, let's get them castles. And on a push, I guess the knight's still going to sink into the d4 square. But maybe I could try to challenge him right away. I'm okay with giving up my light square bishop. He's the worst of the two. Now I think I like my position, even though they're playing with the bishops. I'm going to try to undermine my center still. f5 is pretty sharp. f5, bishop g5. Knight to g5, there's f4. Can take this knight. And then maybe capture and then look to take here. How about we first take here? I can't allow that push. So now suppose I just take this knight and then try to be greedy. Let's be greedy. I don't think I would end up in a terrible pin because I have f4, and even if I have to give the pawn back, I think I'd be alright. Rook to e8, f4. So a much faster pace, for sure. Two knights versus two bishops, but their king is also open. That's another big factor here. So rook to e8 or not. Maybe queen to d6. On queen d6, I think still I want to support my knight. Pretty much have to do that. My diagonal's weakened now. Yeah, they're just piling up. Let's put this rook here. Should I go with that rook? I guess so. Maybe I get a little bit crazy with G4 F5 ideas, but I still have to work out this pin situation. G5 would be pretty sharp. G5, maybe I would have a Queen H5. Okay, so they're just going to try to push. Yeah, noted. Suppose I just hop right on this diagonal. Queen here. Yeah, let's give this a try. Knight to b5 ideas might be there on a queen move. Well, this is with checks, so... Yeah, he's just going to go down, isn't he? Or should I still try to hang on to him? How about knight to f3? And I'm not so quick to give back the pawn. Let's try that. I have e1 supported enough. Tough game. Probably sneaking a pre-move. Queen can't go too far. Somewhere else where she's not giving check. I got this d6 idea. Evening out on the clock. Let's undo it. What are they thinking of here? Slow type. Also, my queen's defending f4. I'm just realizing that now. Okay, that's an interesting move. Giving up that strong bishop. For what reason, I wonder? Oh, that move, huh? Well, let's jump in here. Now that they're gave up the dark square bishop, my knight should, I think, at least increase in value. Still defend a2. Their bishop is very strong. Let's give him a boot. My queen needs to reposition. I think I want the queens off. Don't know if I could really take advantage of their king position. They have a check on c5. I guess I'm going to be going to the corner soon. And they could win this pawn. Interesting. Okay, let's go here. Queen exchange, then my knight has to find a new home. I drop c4. I want this as my hut. Okay, they just gave up this square. I have queen g5. This is a really active post for my queen now. Where's the tactic? I feel like there should be some tactic here. Let's start with this. And this. And this. I have a check. Let's stay here controlling this diagonal. I like my queen post. Discoveries with check. Can I go pawn hunting? Isn't this a one king and pawn endgame? We're going to find out. King there first. Down to the wire. Now it's definitely winning. Or no. They're going to get there in time. Or are they? Not quite. I don't have enough time. That's 3-0 for you. Yeah. Tight game. Very, very tight game for 3-0. That's the only one I'm going to do. But as usual, I like doing the 5-0s yeah, that's kind of what you get with the 3-0s. Bit of a rat race to finish. I was forgetting that you could do the multiple pre-moves. But yeah, that was interesting. I definitely don't have too much experience with this specific line, or really the white side against the Grunfeld. Yeah, I don't know if they treated this exactly how they're supposed to. Knight to c6 is, I don't know. I feel like he could he move, and c5 is an idea, but the other advance is the one they played in the game, e5. Yeah, they kind of have to go with one of the two strikes to challenge my center. So knights on c6, I guess e5 is the way forward, but there's also some ideas to maybe circle into the c4 square. Knight repositioning to b6, and knight to a5, maybe bishop to e6 as well. But I felt kind of comfortable after this decision to take my bishop. I thought that maybe this would be an idea, and then c6. I don't know, because I thought that my knight was pretty good on f3. Thought they had maybe something else in mind. Oh, here's maybe another thing. Maybe c5 is a move in this position. And after captures, this knight maybe goes nowhere fast. This is an idea to, try and reinforce the d4 square to have the c-pawn contributing, or I said that this is an idea, but what do I really mean to say? This is a common concession that black will make sometimes to have their queenside split, but the c-pawn does a good job in restricting this knight fighting for control over the d5 square. It's an interesting game, interesting imbalance, 2 knights versus 2 bishops. I had the safer king, but at the same time I kind of felt like I didn't, I couldn't really take advantage of the fact that their king was a little bit more vulnerable, even with the queen still on the board. Okay, well, let's dive in with the analysis and see what more we could take away from this one. Okay, let's dive in here and see if there are any opening issues. I don't think so. Queen to b3 coming up. d5, queen to b3 is just trying to force black's hand. You take me. And they do. They don't try to hang on to the d5 point. So chop, chop. And my queen is a little bit uncomfortable. Still a lot of pieces on board. What's the battle? I have a center, but a queen that is vulnerable. Castles, e4. You have to try to show that this is an asset, so you have to get these guys going. Knight to c6, bishop to e2. Of these two, the bishop stands better on e2 to not only secure the knight in the event of bishop g4, but this is a half-open file for black, so playing to d3, he'll be a bit more vulnerable. Potentially, the d file can open up and can have some major pieces striking at the bishop on d3. So, yeah, so right now it's pointing out different stuff like bishop f4, bishop e3, committing the dark square bishop. But I don't think that there could really be anything so wrong with bishop to e2. And now knight to d7. So they were playing the opening very fast, so I imagine this is some theory stuff I am not up to speed with. And now, look at that. There's already a tactic that both of us missed here. Interesting. There's a knight takes d4 shot. Oh, that's really nice. Very, very nice. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4, and then a knight move hitting my queen. And it suggests knight to c5, staying out of the way of this diagonal. And they're going to be up a pawn soon. In just a moment. Gonzo. Okay, yeah, we both missed that tactical shot. That's good to know. Very nice. So I should be doing something different here. Like bishop to e3. Yeah, bishop to e3, e5 are the top moves. So this would make a bit more sense, right? Something that would keep me from playing bishop to e3 with the knight on f6 is knight to g4. But hey, he has different ideas, so now maybe I could already commit my bishop. And this is very sensible. It's developing. It's reinforcing the big d4 point where there is a lot of attention. So bishop to e3 instead of queen to d3. I'm not quite sure why I reacted to, I don't know why I committed my queen at this moment here. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that. I guess I was just anticipating the knight's going to go to b6, so let's just go here right now. But I should probably wait to see if they're even going to throw a punch at my queen like that and continue to develop. Okay, just making mental notes to myself. Bishop to e3, much better, and missed tactical shot on d4 here. Knight b6 right here, d5. No, I just went on with castles. What is going on? d4 can be captured here too. I guess we both experienced a serious blind spot with d4. Just basic math here. 3 is greater than 2. Yeah, I'm lacking a defender on d4. There's no kind of fancy way to take advantage of the pin, I should say, after knight takes here, because this knight can always make a capture with check at minimum. Okay, giant blind spot on d4 for, I guess, both of us. e5. And I push d5, bishop g5 is another one. d5 on board, knight d4. And now I played bishop to e3. Likes bishop to e3. Rook to d1's another one. Knight takes on e2. What was I saying? Knight takes knight here. With then maybe f5. Yeah, I don't know if I'm really correct with this decision, saying that maybe knight takes knight is better. They are picking up a bishop. It's my bad bishop, but it's still a bishop. And I don't know that you could really maintain this knight here. Is c5 a move? I guess c5 is a move here. D takes c, b takes, and as mentioned, the pawn does a good job of canceling out the knight. It's a bit split on the queen side, of course, but they get to keep this knight around for a little bit. 1, 2, 3. They have enough defense right now. And if I try to put some more pressure on it, well, that was a b pawn converted to a c pawn, and c5 would hit once more. So they could try to simply maintain that strong post on d4. I'm doing a lot of talking over the d4 square. That's the key square in the Grunfeld. Okay. They gave up the knight. And in this middle game, I wonder what we could have done a little bit different. f5 is really the break to go forward with. I guess I was too fearful of this push, but I do have this as an option. I want to just throw a rook on a file. Rook a to d1. One of the rooks to d1 it's suggesting. Of the two, I'd probably go with this one, because the c file is pretty nice as well for the other rook. So I could have held my ground and not given up my center point so easily. Okay, I just captured because I was being greedy right around this point. I went pawn hunting, giving up the bishop for knight. It's not a fan of that, not a top move. But this is where, okay, now it's showing up as one of the options. Knight to g5. It wants to go with, and also bishop takes knight. So chop, chop, pawn hunting. Yeah, knight takes e5. And I have f4. If black still has a pawn around, this would be an issue. You know, because of this pin, and then there's an ensuing move of d6 or f6, and my knight is cooked. Not the case here. So I get to take, and now my pawn is freed up to reinforce that knight in the event of a pin. That's what they go for. f4. I think it even popped up g5 for a moment. g5 it likes immediately. Just trying to take advantage of that pin. That would have turned really sharp. g3, and now it's even saying in reply to g5, g3. Ouch. That scares me. Yeah, this g3 weakening light squares around my own king. I have to be super careful of weakening any color squares around my king. These bishops will snake on in at some point. Okay, they didn't go with g5. Queen d6, rook a to e1, it likes. c6. Okay. I guess I'm just better here. It doesn't want to go with g4. This thought that I had, yeah, maybe I even go in for g4. It actually does like that move. What's the idea behind it after bishop to d7? I can't just continue to push this knight. I have to be careful. You know, it wants to push and then play queen to d2. This is tough to do, especially. It's tough to do in a long game. And a 3-minute game is that much more difficult. Yeah. Maybe if I was feeling crazy, I would do g4, but not now. Okay. Now it wants to go with g4, and there seems to be a... Wow. Seems to be winning. Why? Oh, I guess I have some tactical idea. What's the story with g4? g4, bishop d7 now. And I have something maybe here. Oh, we're kicking the bishop off of controlling the e4 square. Okay, that would be the main point to making this super committal G4 advance. Oh, my other concern. Oh, okay. So even on this capture, we're not doing this because we're in this pin, but even in this case, we're getting a knight to e4, and as soon as the queen moves, we have d6. So there was this idea to try and push through with d6 that I really did not pursue. I only had it in my mind there's maybe a knight to b5 move, but I always felt that in the game, knight to b5 can be met with queen to c6, and that's a check, and that's going to force the queens off. But knight to e4, on the other hand, hits the queen, stops this queen trade, and yeah, that's a dagger and a half with d6. That would have been a nice spot. Instead, I went with something lame. I was too fixated on, oh, I'm going to lose a pawn. I don't have enough defense here, so let's run away scared. That's what I did. And yeah, I'm not sure why they gave up the dark square bishop, but I guess it's just equal now, even though I'm still up a pawn. And so that's one of the moves, this capture on c3. I took with the pawn because I still wanted to defend this guy. Now bishop to e4. It feels like they're getting that pawn back, but I definitely do like my knight on this e5 square. Holds it as something equal, but anything can happen in this position. It's still so imbalanced, minor piece-wise and king safety-wise. They have, well, I don't know if we could even call the bishop the superior minor piece, because he has a great say in this position from e5. And black has the weakened king post, queen c5. Yeah, I was trying to hang on to a2. What other move do I have for the queen? I didn't like queen to d4 because they're going to grab my a2 pawn, saying something like this. I definitely, just as it was in the game, I didn't want to take their queen because then they take over control of this key e5 square. So they want to play it where I give up the a pawn and then just kind of relocate the queen over here on f2. Okay, well, I just want to defend directly a2. Rook to f8. And what did I do? c4. c4, bishop to e6. And I'm just trying to regroup here. My queen's out of play. Wouldn't mind a queen exchange here. Yeah, I've kind of given up on this idea to maybe attack their king. They have a lot of pieces around, and it's tough to get in another, to tie in another piece, let's say, with the knight on e5. I mean, when they play g5, I wouldn't be surprised if there's something then for me. So, getting in these little baby moves. This is my hut now for my king. g5 is probably a bit too crazy. Queen h5 it does like. And after captures, maybe I have something here. No tactic missed yet. Queen g5, king h8. Just pick up the pawn. Maybe here there's something. Do I have anything good here? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a pretty cool tactic. Yeah, the rook and pawn endgame, and I'd end up with a super active rook. I have knight to g6. Queen exchange. And then take here. So right now material is even, but I will be picking up a pawn. And they are just all lined up. They may all fall. Oh, if I would have thought just a hair more here, but it felt like there was something right around this point. As soon as my queen snuck in, and then there was this check, capture, right here is where I sensed there would be something. That's a cool one. I like that combo. Very nice. I just wanted to defend, queen to e3, and Yeah, maybe there was another tactic missed. The king and pawn endgame was winning. Knight takes g6 here is what I played. Yeah, okay, because this is, I could just trade all the way down. A different move order, though, different move order. Knight takes g6 with then queen to h6. Oh, I'm actually winning the pawn. I could take here. The queen can't take. She has a responsibility. After pawn takes, I have queen to h6. And, oh, okay, so I could take the rook and then take the pawn. I can't take right away. I thought I could take right away, but here, the computer will go for this move. So it's not quite a forced, you know, I can't quite force a strictly king and pawn endgame. King h8. And now, yeah, okay. But I think the other variation is maybe just winning as well. I think I could force the queens off. Because after this queen to d4, isn't this strong? It's not, well, it's not going to force off the queens. Yeah, because he could just sidestep that. Okay, so there wasn't a clear way to force off the queens there. A variation to pick up this pawn and have the queens off, which is awesome and everything, but to make it super clean, I would like to somehow find a way to force the queens off here. So I was a bit surprised to see this move because this is an unhealthy group of 3 versus 2, and they can't by force, they cannot by force create a passed pawn without investing a pawn, I believe. Like, so suppose we just shuffle for a moment. I go king f1, and if they ever go here, I'm just making dummy moves to illustrate. Captures. If this ends up, and that's how it was in the game, this one pawn will stop both. They could, however, force through. Oh no, it's not even guaranteed that they could force through a passed pawn, and you know, they don't have to give up a pawn to create a passed pawn. I don't think that they could even manage that much, where they can force a passed pawn by giving up a pawn, because the way to do that would be to play c5 and then play b5. However, as soon as c5 is played, I have this move a4, and these two offset, and this a pawn controls these two. Now, in the game, I didn't see it as, once we got to this point, I just felt that it was winning, because I thought, this is not going to be a, this isn't a healthy structure that can successfully create a pass pawn on the queen side. But looking at it closely, it is the case that it is in fact not a good structure to work with. Many times having split pawns like this can be very effective in preventing a completely healthy group of 3 pawns. So, yeah, but this should be just winning. I'm surprised it's just saying a pawn and a half advantage. Maybe you just have to give it a little bit of time. Felt like right around this point you just centralized the king and kind of golden. Yeah, it seems to just be a winning advantage. Let's go with h4, but I figured might as well race up to the center first. And was there anything lost here in this king and pawn endgame? Let's see. Yeah, I think I hold. The only other note here is that I don't want to play g4 first, because now black plays g5 and one pawn restricts 2, so there's this idea. This is known as the candidate pawn, so he should be moved first. He should be the leader. Candidate pawn is the one that is not obstructed by any opposing pawns that are on the same file. So as a rule, he should move first. H4. And I will be able to get in G4 and just scoot my king over for a moment. And they're trying to get a pass pawn, but it's not really going to work out. G4, and this is just winning. Yeah, I could just take. Even suggested C5 as a move. But isn't this winning as well? It is. Push. And yeah. This is just working out. I guess the only other detail is, well, of course I'm going to take this pawn first, but yeah, I would want to take this pawn first. If there was somehow a situation where, and I'm not sure how to say it exactly, but I would like to take this one first and then move up here because my king wants to play the like a shouldering off type of role so that the black king can't get into the corner to stop my rook pawn. So this is just winning, but didn't have enough time to pull it off. Interesting game though, and some interesting points in that middle game with the d4 square. We were blind, both of us were blind on many occasions. But anyhow, feel free, as usual, to leave any feedback to this atypical 3-0 time control game. Hope you're having a great day, and I will catch you soon. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.